I have no idea of what player I'm talking about. My general intelligence says with 500 players in the NBA, there's probably something going on.
Yeah. Years ago, Bob Whitsitt, I asked him about you, and I said, what do you think of George? And he said, I think he's a heck of a coach. I said, he goes, he's not easy. George is not easy. There's conflict. Is it fair to say that through the years, you were not always the easiest guy to play for, that you had a strong point of view and it rubbed people the wrong way sometimes?
I mean, I don't think I'm as combative as people report it to be, but I am a person that believes that tell what's going on and try to work it out and try to get it better. And I can be strong. I mean, I can be strong in my correction and my criticism. At the same time, I think my coaching staffs over the years, in general, have been very positive to players. But, you know, the game, when you coach a guy for 500 games, like I've coached Gary Payton, and coach guys even for 100, 200 games, they're not going to like the coach. And, you know, I learned very early in my career that trying to be liked is not a part of being a head coach in the NBA. You know, respect, you want your team to have an attitude that respects the game of basketball, respects the competitive spirit of the game. And they don't always have to get along. And because of the situation of win-lose, you're not always going to get along. There are going to be moments where you have attitudes and distractions from everybody, and the head coach can be that guy sometimes too.
Finally, George has a new book out, Furious George, My 40 Years Surviving Divas, Clueless GMs, and Poor Shot Selection. I'm about a third through it. It's full of a lot of good stories. I initially am a fan of LeBron and Kevin Durant and player mobility. I've been mobile in my life. Why can't an NBA player? But this year has been very unique, George, where it feels like a 2 to a 3 team league. Nobody's beaten LeBron in Cleveland, and Golden State's getting to the Western Conference Final. Whether they beat San Antonio or Houston, I don't know. I am for mobility for me, so I'm for mobility for players. But do you believe it has now become a problem where players are controlling movement and they're conjoining here on teams, and the league is simply too top-heavy?
Well, I'm not sure. I agree with it being top heavy. This year, I think there's a big space between the top 2 and maybe the top 3 teams, giving San Antonio the benefit of the doubt that they'll improve and get better and maybe get into the category. What I see in the league today is the game has grown so fast. It is getting so big. You know, in the 80s, we weren't a multi-billion-dollar business. In 25 years, we're a multi-million-dollar business. And I think it's grown so fast, and sometimes we don't look at the game. We don't look at, you know, we just look at maybe the spreadsheets. And I think sometimes we need a conscious of how the game is. Is it getting better? Is it improving? I mean, the ratings doesn't tell the truth all the time. Just because it's being watched at a high level, it's very tight with the young people in the world. The whole thing comes down to, is the game improving? I think our players are getting extremely talented and improving, but there is a parity in the league that I think is concerning.
Yeah, I think this year more than any in my life, and I've been watching the NBA since 1972-3 from my little bedroom black and white TV, and I don't remember a year where I felt like wake me during the finals, and I think the finals will be great. The book is called Furious George. George Karl, a friend, a guy I've known for a long time. Continued success, George. Thank you.
To the sticky, the stinky, even those who get a little icky. To all the beautiful mess makers, keep it up. With Delta Intuition plus H2O Kinetic, you can. See what Delta can do.
Hot take tonight. Listen, Russell Westbrook, I think, is going to average a triple-double this season.
Yes.
Russell Westbrook's going to give us one of the greatest individual statistical seasons that we have seen in NBA history. But he's not going to win the MVP. James Harden, who might not average a triple-double, but is going to come pretty damn close, he is going to win the MVP. Because the Houston Rockets are going to win 60 games. 50 maybe? for OKC, but I'm seeing them somewhere in the 45 to 48 range. 60 wins for the Houston Rockets, something that is going to exceed expectation for many who entered this NBA season saying, all right, maybe they sneak into the back end of the Western Conference playoffs, win 40 games, 45 games, but 60-plus wins if they stay at this pace and Harden continues to average basically 30 points, 9 rebounds, and lead the league in assists. He had a 40, 10, and 10 effort tonight. He's going to have 80% of the triple-doubles that Russell Westbrook has anyways, and as good as Russ will be, he's not playing nearly as efficiently as James Harden. Nope. James Harden is shooting the ball much better. He's not turning the ball over quite as much, even though they both turn the ball over about 8 times a game.
They're 1 and 2.
They're 1 and 2, but I'm telling you right now, I don't care. Russ is going to have to go up to like 35, 12, and 12 to steal this from James Harden because the team success is, and the way that they are so far exceeding expectation, both individually with Harden and the Houston Rockets. I think the voters are going to look at the fact that Harden maybe got snubbed a couple years ago when Steph Curry won, when he led the Rockets to that great season, and then seeing the Rockets get even better this year. And with Harden averaging damn near a triple-double, I think that's going to sway the voters. The triple-double is going to make them think. But when they see that 60-win number next to Houston and 30, 9.5, and 12 next to Harden, I think they're going to say, sorry, Russ, I'm checking off that James Harden box.
How many wins does OKC have to have in order
They're going to need to win
Russ-
50.
Okay.
And I just don't know if they're going to be close. I think they're going to be 45 to 48, but Russ is going to have to average a triple-double and get his team 50-plus wins and into a 5 seed? Houston could be the 2 seed, maybe even the 1 seed in the West if something happens to Golden State. Just think about that. We know that these individual awards are supposed to be for individual achievement, but oftentimes they're tied to team
Imagine
success.
Russ leading the league in scoring and averaging a triple-double while losing Durant, still leading them to a playoff spot and not winning the MVP. I'd be shocked, but you almost have me convinced. That is quite. That's going to be.
Keep balling, James, and we'll see.
That's going to be quite the compelling race as we get closer to the end of the season in the spring.
Bulls and the Wizards fighting for a final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. No D-Wade, Jimmy Butler, or Nico Mirotic for the Bulls, so Fred Hoiberg forced to play his boy Rajon Rondo. 5 straight DNPs for coaches' decisions, but Rondo showed up, ties the game at 97 with a J. 90 seconds to go. It's 99-97 after a couple of Robin Lopez free throws, and John Wall hits his own J to tie it at 99. Then Wall, next possession, buries that 2-pointer, 101-99. There would be one more chance for the Bulls to tie or win. They draw up Dougie Buckets. Comes off the screen, gets the 3. Was he fouled? I don't know. Refs say no. 101-99. Wall with 26-14-6 and his first career game winner. Tim Doyle, what you see on that final play. And with no D-Wade, no Jimmy Butler, it's a game the Wizards had to win.
Yeah, and it was John Wall down the stretch.
Yeah.
And I think the previous bucket to tie the game up on Robin Lopez, I think the light bulb went off in his head, like, let's go out Robin Lopez. Let's get that mismatch. Now, Lopez decides to sag, stay in the lane. I thought John Wall had a relatively easy look there. He goes screen and roll with Gortat, and they're able to convert. I thought Doug McDermott got fouled. I thought he got hit on the hand. I know he kicks out the leg, and that's not a foul. I think he actually distracted the referee because the ref goes, oh, he kicked his leg, no foul. But he got hit on the hand. Wizards needed this game. They're right back in it. If the playoffs started today, Washington, which got off to a horrible start, they'd be in.
Right.
The Bulls would be out. What do you think of the Bulls overall?
Right.
It just seems like there's a lot of turmoil there as far as Rondo and the organization. He went on a giant rant before the game. D-Wade's not healthy some games. Jimmy Butler's not healthy. Is this really a playoff team?
It's a great question. I don't know if we know at this point in the season because unlike the Wizards, they did start surprisingly well. They were knocking down shots. There seemed to be some chemistry with D-Wade, Rondo, and Butler, but now it's fallen apart for the Bulls. And a couple months ago, we were scratching our head. Why can't this Wizards team compete in the East when you have the likes of John Wall, Brad Beal, a better Otto Porter, a Markieff Moore? There's talent on that team, but now it's starting to click for Scotty Brooks and the Wizards. They barely beat the Bulls. Probably should have beaten by more with no D-Wade, Jimmy Butler.
Well, I think that was the problem, right? They
101-99.
could not smell blood in the water, and they just did enough to walk away with the win.
All of the gang and they come and get gang. Grab me a